Financial history was made overnight, as both the Iraqi Dinar IQD and the Vietnamese Dong VND surged in value, stunning global markets and confirming long-held rumors of revaluation. For years, investors and currency watchers were told that these currencies had little chance of Yet, against the odds, the surge has arrived, shaking the foundations of the foreign exchange market. This is more than a small adjustment. It's being described as a currency earthquake. The sudden move is forcing economists, governments, and banks to re-examine how global money systems are structured. The IQD and VND were once symbols of undervaluation, but today they represent possibility, power, and transformation. Details are still emerging, but reports suggest the Iraqi dinar is now valued at levels unseen in modern history, climbing far beyond speculative projections from years past. The Vietnamese dong has also broken through long-standing ceilings, sending Asian markets into overdrive. For ordinary investors, these numbers mean life-changing returns. A stack of 25,000 IQD notes that once sat collecting dust is suddenly worth tens of thousands of US dollars. Similarly, the dong long mocked as just souvenir money is now rewriting the fortunes of those who believed in its future. Markets are scrambling to stabilize. Forex traders are pulling all-nighters, banks are updating exchange systems, and governments are quietly adjusting to the new balance of power. The message is clear. The revaluation is real, and the numbers prove it. Experts point to a combination of long-term and immediate triggers. Iraq's economic stability, fueled by oil exports and a new budget focused on growth, Iraq finally had the strength to support a higher exchange rate. Vietnam's global positioning as one of the fastest-growing economies in Asia. Vietnam's undervalued dong was due for correction, aligning with its true market strength. IMF and World Bank guidance. Both organizations have played behind-the-scenes roles, encouraging reforms, debt restructuring, and currency adjustments to bring fairness to the global system. Bank readiness. 4 weeks. Leaked memos suggested that global banks were quietly preparing for currency resets, upgrading systems to handle massive exchange flows. Together, these factors created the perfect storm for revaluation. What looked impossible just a few months ago has now become a financial reality. The overnight surge of the Iraqi Dinar IQD and Vietnamese Dong VND hasn't just impacted financial markets, it has created a global, emotional wave. Investors who have held these currencies for years are experiencing a mix of joy, disbelief, and cautious optimism. United States reactions in the US. Veteran IQD holders are celebrating their patience. Some bought diners during the early 2000s when prices were almost negligible. Social media is flooded with posts like, "I held 50,000 diners for over 15 years. Tonight, it changed my life forever." Families are posting videos showing their children celebrating the newfound financial security, mocking what some are calling a generational breakthrough. Even mainstream financial media, which previously dismissed the IQD as speculative, is now acknowledging the event as historic. Analysts are running special segments to explain what this means for both smallholders and institutional investors. European market reactions across Europe. The sudden spike is raising eyebrows. Traders and investors in the Eurozone are questioning their currency exposure, with some considering diversifying into undervalued currencies following the IQD and VND trends. Social media groups and private forums have erupted with forex speculation and analysis, as investors debate whether other undervalued currencies will experience similar Asia and Vietnam response. In Vietnam, citizens are celebrating the dong surge as a national victory. The currency adjustment reflects Vietnam's economic growth over the last decade. Small business owners, exporters, and investors are particularly enthusiastic because export earnings now carry more weight internationally. Foreign investments are likely to flow in, boosting domestic infrastructure and tech growth. Ordinary citizens holding dong in banks are suddenly seeing a real increase in their wealth. Psychological and community impact beyond numbers. The surge has created a sense of validation. Longtime skeptics of these currencies are witnessing tangible proof that patience and foresight pay off. Online communities, investor groups, and social media forums are filled with discussions about how to manage new wealth. Next steps for currency conversion. Advice on financial planning in a post-RV world. In essence, this is a global celebration of foresight and persistence. And for the first time in years, these currencies are commanding international respect. The overnight revaluation of the IQD and VND is more than an individual investor success story. It has significant global implications. Impact on oil and trade contracts. Iraq's stronger dinar allows the country to renegotiate oil contracts with greater leverage. This could potentially reduce dependence on the USD for trade settlements, which may trigger ripple effects in global oil markets. Meanwhile, Vietnam's export economy benefits as a stronger dong increases international purchasing power, giving Vietnamese exporters a competitive edge. Regional stability and geopolitical influence. Iraq's new currency strength may enhance its regional influence, allowing it to form more strategic economic alliances. Neighboring countries are closely watching, with some potentially adjusting their monetary policies to stabilize against regional currency shocks. Vietnam's rise signals Asia's growing economic power, hinting at shifts in investment and trade flows. Forex market volatility. Short-term traders and forex analysts are warning of increased volatility. Overnight surges often create sharp swings in liquidity, requiring banks to prepare for potential imbalances. Major trading floors report. High trading volumes as investors attempt to lock in gains. Speculative movements on other undervalued currencies, anticipating a domino effect. Wealth, redistribution, and social impact. The human side of this revaluation is dramatic. Ordinary investors who held small amounts of dinars or dong for years are now seeing life-altering gains. Families paying off debts, entrepreneurs starting businesses that were previously impossible. Communities experiencing unexpected financial uplift, especially in regions where these currencies were a common investment. Global financial perception shift. Perhaps most importantly, these reevaluations are changing how undervalued currencies are perceived globally. The IQD and VND are no longer dismissed. They are now currencies to watch, demonstrating that careful economic planning, government support, and international cooperation can transform even overlooked currencies into world-impacting assets. The overnight surge of the Iraqi dinar IQD and Vietnamese dong VND is more than just a financial headline. It is a historic turning point in global finance. For years, investors, analysts, and everyday holders speculated about the possibility of a revaluation. Last night, that speculation became reality, confirming that patience, research, and strategic foresight are rewarded in ways that can change lives. For investors, opportunity and responsibility for those holding IQD or VND. The gains are many investors are seeing the ability to pay off long-standing debts. Funds to start businesses, invest in education, or support families. Financial independence that seemed unattainable just weeks ago. Yet, with great opportunity comes responsibility. Smart financial planning, diversification, and understanding the global economic implications will determine whether this wealth creates long-term prosperity or is fleeting. For Iraq and Vietnam, national growth and influence. The revaluation strengthens both nations' positions on the global stage. Iraq's stronger dinar could allow it to negotiate oil and trade deals with greater leverage, while Vietnam's dong reflects its rising economic power. These currencies now symbolize national stability, growth, and the potential for international influence, reshaping their roles in global finance. For the world! A ripple effect. Global markets are reacting with awe and caution. Analysts are watching to see if other undervalued currencies may follow suit, potentially signaling a broader currency realignment. Banks, governments, and investors worldwide are now reassessing strategies in response to this historic event. The ripple effects could impact trade, foreign policy, and global investment patterns for years to come. The human element. Dreams realized. Perhaps the most important aspect is the human story. Ordinary people who believed in the potential of these currencies now see their dreams materialize. Years of patience, skepticism, and dedication are validated in a single overnight shift. This is a story of hope, persistence, and strategic vision, a reminder that belief combined with action can yield extraordinary results. Final thoughts. The surge of the IQD and VND is not just a revaluation, it is a moment of historic transformation. Investors, nations, and global markets are all witnesses to this monumental shift. The takeaway is clear. Preparation, foresight, and patience are the keys to seizing life-changing opportunities. This is more than numbers, it's a wake-up call for global investors, a celebration for diligent holders, and a milestone in financial history. The currency shockwave of 2025 will be remembered for decades, shaping the future of international finance and inspiring a generation to believe that perseverance pays.